I think, the labor protest in Kaduna, based on the sacking of workers by the governor of Kaduna State, and then this disagreement that erupted between the two parties, and then the lessons, like you said, if any, there are lessons that needed to be learned, and then the game was played by the two sides, and each of the side, every Kaduna citizen, and in fact Nigerians know that there was a threat from both sides, and then also whether we like it or not, and whether anybody likes it or not, I think the protest has succeeded. It has yielded the required result, even though the governor have not rescinded in so far on the sacking of the workers, but the message has been sent not only to Kaduna State citizens but Nigeria across. That's number one. Number two, and even whether anybody likes it or not, also the governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, whether you like his face or you don't, apart from the issue of sacking of workers, is one governor that has really brought transformation. It's really transforming Kaduna State. Infrastructurally, Kaduna State is changing. He's truly changing the face of Kaduna State, making it better than he met it. And I will also want to say that before now, apart from any other thing that we'll be looking at, there was no governor that has been able to achieve what he has achieved so far in terms of infrastructural development. He also has good policies, but I think some of the challenges is the implementation or the application of those policies.
I wish you were here earlier to get the submission of
I will even react. Just don't worry.
on these issues, but I need to allow you land.
I think I want him to react. I was so keen, I was so interested in what he was saying when I came in, and I think to an extent, I align with him. He can disagree with what I say, but I have my own reasons for saying what I am saying. There is infrastructural development in Kaduna State. And if you look at across northern Nigeria, so far so good, as we speak right now, I don't think there's any governor that is infrastructurally developing his state the way it's been done in Kaduna State. But the problem with the government is just that, as people will always say, sometimes the policies and programs has been applied. It's not having, let me use this word as it is being used, it's not having human face. It is somehow too rigid, too draconian to an extent. I think that is where the problem is coming from. And also, in terms of the sacking of workers, like I said, apart from policy, apart from projects, physical infrastructural projects, the sacking of workers, this is the same governor in the past that said, and then he has been quoted, and a lot of videos are flying everywhere, quoting him, making statements on how best to govern not even a state but Nigeria, and why workers shouldn't be sacked, and why workers must be paid their salaries on a daily basis, as well as pension and gratuity of workers, and then also job security. He has also spoken about that in the past. And then coming to be a governor, he's reneging from those previous statement that he made. These are why I guess a lot of people feel aggrieved by some of the policies and the application. Yes, you could have a very good reason to do what you are doing, but also there's a way that it should be done that it will not impact seriously on the lives of the people, of the citizen, as well as in the state. Looking at the security, porous security nature of the state and sacking of workers, I think it is not too healthy as at this moment to begin to sack workers, when even those that are not working and trying to get work, and if they don't get work in government or they don't have handwork, they get to themselves to criminal activities. And we know that in the northwest, Kaduna is the most porous as far as security challenges are concerned. Apart from issue, if you look at banditry that is taking place in states like Katsina and Zamfara, but in the real technicality, the technical nature of it, of criminal activities, Kaduna is a beehive of this activity. So I think, in generally, from the issue of the labor, like I said, the protest has so far, as far as I'm concerned, it has the message has been sent. Let's see what is going to happen, what is going to come out of the meeting, as invited by the federal government of the both parties. And I hope that the governor will look at it critically and agree that even though he has his reason for adopting that policy, but 95% of citizens of Kaduna State, and in fact, indeed, Nigerians are not in the same page with him in the terms of sacking of workers. So I think he need to look into it and then possibly rescind on that his decision.
All right, I am supposed. Do you see the heightened agitations and tensions around all this calmed?
No, I did not see it being calmed. In the first instance, you will remember very well that in this very house, on this program, we've made a lot of calls on this constitutional review and then, if you like, constitutional conference, where people will come and discuss issues and the problems and the prospect of Nigeria holistically and honestly, with sincerity of purpose and all a sense of patriotism. That should, in our opinion, then be organized by the executive arm of government. Coming to have this coming under the legislative arms of government, I'm not saying it's not right, because also during that discussion we've called that that the legislatures are the representative of the people, so they are supposed to constitutionally the right people that are supposed to listen to their own people and then go and legislate and make laws for Nigeria. But then those are two different things if you look at them all together. For the legislative arm of government to call for referendum, or like the barrister said, there's no space for referendum in the Nigerian constitution, to call for a discussion, rather, to discuss the Nigerian constitution or the Nigerian nation. It's not a bad thing, but I think, like he said, I cannot see every aspect of Nigeria coming to address that sitting, because at the end of the day, it's just going to be one of those jamboree discussion and then nothing happens. It has been done in the past, and then nothing happens about it. But then I also agree that injustice is one of the major problems that is causing all these agitations. If you want a country to run the way it's supposed to be run, and if you want the people to be happy with the leadership or with government, you need to carry everybody along. Government is the business of a nation, and most especially a democratic government that is addressed as government of the people, for the people, and by the people. You need to carry everybody along. Everybody along in the sense that Nigeria has 36 states. We have, though not recognized by the constitution, but then politically 6 geopolitical zones, that every appointment needed to be spread across the 6 geopolitical zones, and then everybody, if possibly, every state needed to be carried along, and then ethnicity, if you like, need to be considered, religious need to be considered, even though Nigeria is not a one religion state, but then you need to, a lot of factors needed to come into consideration to be able to carry everybody along, so that there will be no this complaint or that complaint, marginalization, one-sided appointment, tribal sentiment, religious bigotry. All these things are happening because there is no fairness in leadership. And then for as long as that has not been addressed, even if you the Senate is going to arrange the kind of sitting for as many times as possible, it will not change anything. But then for those that will go, because you cannot just say every Nigerian will not be part of it. Of course, a lot of Nigerians will go. We see that as an opportunity to go and make some presentation. Even though, as you are making that presentation, the Senate will, the Senate process, the legislative process is a long one. You go, you do that public hearing, then they go, they put up a report. After the report, they make presentation before the Senate, and then before the Senate will now begin to discuss and argue about it, and agree, disagree. Before you know what is happening, it is 2023, another election year has come, and that will be dropped, and then another one will come up. So it's not a bad one anyway. It's a way forward. If not for anything, it is indicating that the legislators themselves know that there's a problem. They know that these agitations are on, and they are beginning to recognize the hues and cries of Nigerians, and then want to give Nigerians a sense of belonging by giving them opportunity to come and air their views, like I said earlier. But then we all agree that it's not everybody that will go, and also that will not stop the agitation, unless and until a practical solution is being put on ground. Possibly, the present administration rejigging the cabinet completely, and then giving opportunity for all Nigerians. Like he said, I agree with him in totality too. I said earlier, appointing family and friends into positions, because you are a governor, or you are a president, or you are a local government chairman, or you are a minister. When you are appointing people to work with you, it has to be your family and friends. It is not right. You need to look at competence. You need to look at patriotism. You need to look at so many things into doing that, so that every Nigerian will feel a sense of belonging in the ruling.
All right, addressing election problems or issues before the 2023 elections. For you, do you see that happening with agitations? For a lot of Nigerians, they need to talk and address this clamor or agitations.
Well, the reality is, I agree that Nigerians needed to be talked to about these very agitations, these problems, the clamor, the complaints everywhere, the disagreement, the distrusts, the misunderstanding, and whatever you want to call it. Nigerians needed to be addressed, and addressed properly to the level that they will understand and appreciate that a leader or their leader is talking to them, and to the level that they will believe for once that the leader is honestly addressing and talking to them with all purpose of sincerity and patriotism, with the best of intention to adjust and redirect the thinking and the focus of the government itself and that of the people. These are part of the things that we needed to do. Unless and until we do that, then there's going to be a problem. So, looking at it critically, we needed to move forward, and then possibly the address of the president under this arrangement. The address of the problem under the arrangement might change the focus of Nigerians. But like I said, it has to be holistic, it has to be patriotic, it has to be with a lot of patriotism, let me use this word. And then let there be points that Nigerians will look at and agree that, okay, there is an intention to change things from worst to better or even best. But yet there is no time. They cannot do it. Even if they start now, they can't do it and then get to where they want to get to. But at least there's an English adage that said it is better late than never. So it is better they start now than they never. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. So if at least they took the first step of trying to correct the abnormalities that are being perceived by Nigerians, I guess Nigerians will begin to feel and agree that, okay, it is time, maybe the government is about doing something to change. But if that is not done, believe me, I'm afraid for 2023, because if you guess, the agitation is getting bigger and louder on a daily basis. Just some 2 days ago, we heard that some state governors have been adopted in the southwest. They have adopted a particular anthem apart from the Nigerian national anthem. That is dangerous for the unity and coexistence of Nigeria. That is number one. Number two, we also saw that there is an ultimatum given by the Ijo youths when they had their annual is it conference or bazaar that they usually do every year. Even on that one too, there is that very challenge. They are giving government an ultimatum. They are asking
regional securities, even in some regions,
exactly
clashing with that of the constituted authority.
That one is another one entirely. Now, ultimatum giving a government instruction, because if you check from all the regions, most of the regions now, maybe 1 or 2 regions so far has not done that, but out of the 6, if you like, the 6 geopolitical zones, about 4 have given government an ultimatum, maybe about 2 or 3 or thereabout that didn't do that, and that is very, very dangerous. Now, coming back to issue of security, which is the most paramount and which is even the major reason why we are having this challenge. It started like joke from Northeast, where you have the issue of Boko Haram, and then for about 12 years now, that Boko Haram issue has not changed, and then there's a lot of promises by government every day, day in, day out, year in, year out. We are going to do something, we are doing something, we have dislodged them, they are no longer there. But the thing has not changed, it is still the way it is. In fact, it is changing dimension on a daily basis. You and I and every Nigerian know that in the past it was only the Boko Haram issue. Yes, I agree to an extent. The extension that they had has been reduced because you know too well that bombing, apart from that side, it has come to the complete northwest, north central, to the Federal Capital Territory. But okay, now there are no more bombings. But then they have changed tactics and now draw another pattern of the same insecurity. Before, we are not having that too much of kidnappings. We used to hear and listen or watch these things on radio and television. Now it is taking place seriously here. We have the bandit, where you have 200, 300 tricycles moving in a row at a time, each carrying either 2 or 3, and each of these people carrying AK-47 with double magazines. If you put up together, it's not a joke. Now they have even gone to the level of before they were taking time, watch out if there are no security agencies before they come out. Now they come out even when the security agencies are there, and they can dislodge them and pass away. 1, 2, they have gotten to the level where they can comfortably come to a community, stay there, in fact stay for some days even before they move out. And it is moving like that. Now, the regions are saying we will not allow such thing to come to our own side, so they are creating their own regional security outfit, and that regional security outfit, by Nigerian constitution, a lawyer is there, there's no room for them, but they are doing it, and they are giving it legality, even though it's illegal, and then clashing with the actual security outfit that the constitution so recognized, and then they're having clashes. In fact, looking down on even the national security agencies, and that is very serious problem. And if you want to solve that problem, I am telling you, I have come to, after a very critical study of the situation, I come to realize within myself that it's not just about militarization. I guess the militarization of the security challenges is not just going to solve the security problem. I think there are other aspects of, I think demilitarization of the security problem is one of the way out, because it is not just that you have economic security, you have food security, you have health security, you have educational security. All the security put together cumulated into bringing the national insecurity that is bringing this very security challenge.
Let's quickly, Doctor.
Well,
also that there are state governors saying we will not negotiate or pay ransom. How do you manage on this?
The reality is, it is not possible for a government to say you cannot negotiate with the people when the government cannot rescue and cannot secure the lives and property of the citizens. Everybody loves his own brother or sister or daughter or mother or son or anything you can think of. So it is not possible. The government needs to bring up a policy. But my conclusion is, I want to commend the Senate, because this very clause that the Senate are coming up with, it was demanded by non-consensus movement. We wrote and put a 9-point demand to the Senate President, which he replied, and even it was mentioned in the plenary. We were going to the Senate to go and discuss it, and then one of it is that the Senate should do a legislation that will stop the payment of ransom by parents to kidnappers. But or for the government to do whatever needful to secure anybody that is being kidnapped. So I want to thank the Senate for accepting our suggestion and now making it into legislation.
Okay.